more listings. And to start that, I'm going to kind of just jump to something I haven't done in a while. This is our mastermind group, and if you're a client, you should be in this mastermind group. But I kind of want to start this call with a question that came in from another agent a couple summers ago, which was asking a very simple question: who here is getting 2 listings or more per month strictly from using listings to lead the marketing tools? And a lot of our clients, respond. This is where all of our clients kind of communicate with each other. And but one of them really stood out for us, which is we average 2 listings from each marketed listing, all from LDL tools, and trying to get that number to above 3. So, and the reason why I say this is a lot of people feel like there is one tool. And actually, the reply from that response is this lady was saying, great, what is the one tool, right? Because everybody's looking for a magic pill. Is it a home valuation landing page, right? Years ago, it might have been. It is not today. And really, the answer that we are offering is that if you market your tools, if you market your listings with our system, you're going to get more listings. And so that's kind of the big thing that you need to understand, because a lot of people, they might use one tool out of that we actually auto generate for listings, and that would be it. That's the one they found, that's the one they're interested in, and that would be it. But if you use the whole kit, you're going to find you're going to get more buyers, obviously, but you're going to get a lot of listings. You're going to get more listings too. So oh, Manuel, your coach got you into this. Yeah. Oh, play the we previously like her. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Well, just so you know, this call is being recorded. It's going to be in our mastermind group up here, right, on Facebook. This is a secret group, private group, so you can't actually find it until you're in it. And the way to get into your into our mastermind group is to log into your account and go to the support page, which is down here on the bottom left, and just type in this box here, hey, please get me in the mastermind group. So as I was saying, the top way of getting listings is actually marketing your listings. And I'm going to show you all the ways, but we're going to focus on kind of the most important ones first. So if you go to your listings page, and you may not know this, or you may know this, you'll find that there under the marketing list is a bunch of tools. Now this is the Facebook ads, right? Now this property here is an open house, so it's really designed to get buyer leads. If this home was sold, it would be designed to get seller leads, and that's actually a good way of getting listing leads, is marketing a sold home. But I want to start with the number 1 tool, and that is the Nearby Homeowner Letter. There are 3 here, and you can download them pretty simply right here. You can also, if you notice there's a pencil, you can edit it as well before you download it. But it kind of looks like this, right? It's not super sexy. It's very straightforward, saying, in this case, I got an open house, right? And you can go here to this link. You can take this physical piece of paper to your own computer and fill that out and find out about that open house. But then it also says, when this home is sold, that will affect your home value. So get your free home value here. And here's the thing about this. This is, you download this. This is on, you download it, you print it. Some people door knock it. They door knock 50, 100, 200 of these things, and other people mail them. However you decide you want to get it into your market, it is the most effective way of getting listing leads. Now, I want to kind of point out that if somebody takes this physical piece of paper and goes here, we're going to drive them to a home valuation landing page. And this is this is the #1 thing on realtors' minds today, that this is how you get listing leads. You take this page and you go put it on Facebook and you drive people to it and you get listing leads. That's actually the last thing, what's the second to last thing I would recommend to any realtor. And that's because Facebook has changed dramatically in the past 3 to 4 years to where targeting is impossible. So you're overshooting, you can't really make this work very well, and you get really weak leads. But if you point people to the same landing page with a physical piece of paper like this, well, this is not being shot with a 15-mile radius across Facebook. This is in a neighborhood where you've decided to put it, right? So if you're holding an open house and you want the neighbors to know that you're doing that, this is going to, you're not going to get 50 leads on this. You're going to get 5 to 10. But these are really high quality leads because the only people that are taking this piece of paper and filling that out are people that are genuinely interested. And you're already telling them you're qualified to sell homes in this area. So these become really good leads. Now, I want to kind of say one more thing in the group. There's always a little magnifying glass here. And I recommend that you get to the mastermind group and you look for this guy's name here, Chris Winstead. Because Chris came in last summer. And mind you, last summer is like, COVID, lockdowns, horrible inventory across the country. And he says, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months in my own neighborhood. This guy moved to this neighborhood, right? So he was a realtor, but he moved over to this part of Texas and had no name, no nothing. And so he started using our tools. And he also put this cool video up there. So he kind of blasts this video out on Facebook. But how he got the listings is he sends that letter out every other week to people who have owned their homes for 5 years or more, right? So he sends this letter. He somewhere bought a list of people with 5 years equity in their home, and he mails that out every other week. And once they decide to go to this website, that home value page, he then hits them up every week with phone calls, bomb messages, letters via mail, and letters left at the door, right? That is how you apply that tool. That is the #1 tool. We've had plenty of clients telling us this is how they're getting most of their listings. And what's awesome about this post is he says, this is how I apply it. This is how I use it. And I think if you want more listings, I would look at this post and try to replicate it in your own business. Like I said, it's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. It's under the Listing Marketing tab. It's the #1 tool for getting listings, okay? Now, I'm going to jump over to another property because that's an open house one. I think I have one here that's sold. And I'm going to show you, so there's something called the social media, share on seller social media, right? And this one here is almost the most confusing tool, but for the agents that figure out how to use it, it works really well. And when we send this to you, there's always this weird language about Sally Seller and whatever. And it's telling you to kind of clear it off, forward it, and just give them the basic information. So let me show you what that looks like, because we email this to you automatically. And if you were to click the forward button, wipe out just what they need, and then email it to your client and call them for 5 seconds and say, hey, we just sold your home. Would you mind putting this on your wall, right, on your Facebook account? Now, for some reason, the picture is not looking right, but let's just see what happens. Maybe it'll pop up. But what it is it's a pre-written testimonial, right? It's basically saying our home is sold and you at your office has done an excellent job. We want to recommend you, right? And your phone number and email address is in front of all of your clients, friends, and family on Facebook, right? So everybody's on Facebook sharing pictures of their pets and their kids and their grandkids and the food they eat, all their vacations, all the fun stuff, right? So now they can share that you sold their home. There's also that kind of post for the seller social media is available at any status. So here's something that's active, right? Or this is my open house. So let's just kind of look at it over there. And it's something that you should actually use multiple times. So this one, I won't copy and paste it, but it basically says, hey, we're having an open house this weekend and you at your office is doing a lot of marketing, right? Please share this. And that's it. And then there will be a big picture of the home and all that. And the point of this, again, it's not necessarily to capture leads, although they are all designed to capture leads. It's really to sort of seed your referral market, right? That sphere of influence where, most of you can get referrals from that, right? So you want to make sure that you're using these tools kind of as often as you can, because I don't know how you guys get referrals, right? Do you leave a stack of business cards when you finish a transaction with somebody? Do you leave some really fancy cutlery behind? We're not really into that. We're obviously into marketing and digital marketing. So in this case, when your client puts this up on their wall to say we're having an open house, this is not a paid ad. This thing sits in Facebook forever, unless they decide to delete it, but most people forget about it. And then what happens is your client's friends and family and colleagues just log in one day, right? And they realize that, oh, my friend sold their house and that you were their realtor, right? That's the point of this. So if you're using it when it's just listed, if you do open houses, you do it just like this. You can do it when it's pending or under contract, but definitely do it when it's sold, because it's got your contact information right in front of everybody, right? This is not, like I said, we don't get a ton of leads that way, but the few you get are really high quality. And so we kind of want to get, beyond collecting addresses and emails and getting listing contracts. And so what I've shown you between this tool here and the seller's social media, these are the tools that really sort of drive that. And they're at the top of our list because they don't generate a large amount of leads, but they generate high quality leads. So this here that we're looking at, when we go back to the marketing page, the first thing is, a Facebook ad, right? And so all you got to do to create a Facebook ad is type in the name of the town. I'm going to say Auburn, Indiana. And this says, this home is sold and your home's value is going to be affected by this. Click here to get your free home value. So that's what this ad does. So marketing a home when it's sold on Facebook is a really smart way of getting listing leads, okay? It's more effective than running a home value ad, just so you know. And you'll notice that it has just some basic information that we're pulling off of here. If you click advanced options, you can also add some information, because one of the things, because inventory is so tight around the country, is that people are getting multiple offers, right? That's actually really valuable information for the market. I talk to realtors all the time, and they often feel like they don't have anything to advertise because they sold all their properties, right? But then they say, yeah, we got like 8 offers and we had it in contract in 4 days, right? This is great information, to get in the market, right? It says right here, now that I typed it down here, it shows up in the ad here. We got 8 offers in contract in 4 days. Because selling a home is not everybody's fun thing to do, right? It's actually a painful process. So if you're able to tell the market, hey, I can do it fast and I can get money above asking, all those kinds of things, you're taking away pain points and fear factors, right? And so that's why you want to sort of customize that when you've got a sold property. So definitely sold ads on Facebook work really well. We've also got an e-flyer for your database, and that's something that you definitely want to be taking advantage of. Again, at any stage, this home is sold. So when we go to this page here, it's going to be offering a home value because we're not looking for buyers on that. But then it says that affected your home's value. So you can click right here in the same flyer and go to that handy home valuation landing page. And that's the nature of our e-flyers. Whether it's just listed or open house, we're always going to talk about the home at the top, and we're always going to say it's affected your home value. That's why Dustin was over there saying we get 2 to 3 more listings every time we market a listing, because he uses these tools, and they all have hooks to get more listings. So that's kind of where it's at. Now, I'm going to point out these 2 tools, the single property and the virtual tour, single property website. One thing I want you to understand is when a home is sold, we're not looking for buyers anymore. So there's going to be this automated prompt that comes up. And when it comes up, it's going to say that's sold and that affected your home value, because you're not looking for buyers on a sold property, right? So our call to actions have updated to get more listings. You could just share this on social media, right, if you wanted to. If anybody clicks on it, they're going to be facing this pretty soon. There's also another aspect of our single property websites and our virtual tours, and that is while you're scrolling down and looking at the basic things that you would imagine, like photos and you know what's how many square feet and things like that. We also put a big banner here of what is your home worth, right? And we do that because we know that people who are looking at properties often own properties. What they're doing is they're researching the market long before they want to talk to somebody like you, right? They just don't want to be talking to realtors. They want to find out what's going on. And you'll notice at the bottom, we have a huge footer, again, asking the same question: what is your home worth? So there are just multiple hooks for a property that's just listed or open house to capture them as a seller lead. I also want to point out, well, this one is sold, so it's kind of different. Let me go over to a property that's not sold. Go back to my open house here. Excuse me. And on the single property website for an open house, you would kind of think, oh, that's, well, now we're looking for buyers, right? Because it's open house, so we're looking for buyers. So the call to action is like, continue here to get more detail on this open house. So now when I click this, you have the name and email of me, right? Or whoever clicks that button. But then we ask this question: do you own a home? And people could say yes or no. And do you need to sell the home? And a lot of our clients get leads, just listing leads, just like that. They were out there looking at homes that are on the market to find out what's going on in the market. And the call to actions are, even though we're looking for buyers, we're also getting the seller information as well and delivering it to you. So that's just a great way of, again, marketing your listings and getting more, getting more listings. So in this section, which is the market listing area, Facebook ads for sold properties are great. The seller social media post, you should be using these 2, just listed, open house, and just sold. There's also an e-flyer that's kind of similar, right? You can send this to the client, and it's an e-flyer that they can forward. And I will tell you this, like, I think one reason why agents don't use these 2 tools, the seller social media and this, is they're not comfortable doing it, right? And I think you really got to put this in your listing presentation, that you are a marketing expert and you're a social media marketing expert. And you're probably going to be incorporating them with some of your communications to get more people, right? And so you'll find when you're in a listing presentation and you don't tell them this and you send it to them just off on the fly, they're going to be like, oh, what's this? But if you kind of let them know even before you start getting into marketing, they're going to be able to say, oh, great, I understand this. I was, you told me about it earlier. So that's kind of the listing marketing side. There are postcards. Now, one thing I'm just going to remind you, the nearby homeowner letter, it's the top tool, right? It's pretty straightforward. We also have postcards and door hangers that have the same functionality. So it talks about an open house here, and on the back it says, that's going to affect your home value. So these door hangers, these two postcards are designed again to get you more listings, right? Market a home, but get you more listings. So that's the side there, right? For getting, obviously, listings by marketing your listings. We also have a landing page section. And one of the default landing pages that we create is the free home value page, right? So this makes sense, right? You type in your address and then it asks for the email. That's a great way of getting listings as well. But like I said earlier, running an ad on Facebook is not the best use of that. So I kind of mentioned, I said, it's actually, at first I said it's the last thing I would recommend is running an ad on Facebook. But now I know there's even something that is the real last one. That would be the second to last. If we click the edit button on this and we click advanced options, you will see that you can embed this, right? You can embed this in your website so that if somebody gets to your website, they can get their free home value. That's the last thing I would recommend. And that's because most of you don't know how many people hit your website every month. And if you don't know that, well, you just don't, there's no point in really going through the effort of putting that there. And also the reason that landing pages work so well, and you got to kind of know this, there are no links here, right? There's only one goal: get your contact information and get your address, right? And for the consumer, it's get their home value. For you, it's to get a home value lead, right? So when you embed this in your website, there's a whole lot more information on your website, right? There's listings, there's neighborhoods, there's all kinds of ways for these people to be distracted on your website. Whereas on a landing page like this, there's no distraction. It's one goal: get listing leads. So that's why I don't really recommend going through that. Although I have a lot of conversations, people put a website up and they're like, oh, I want to put a home value page. That's great. If there are other things that you should be doing first if you want listings, right? Now, you'll notice that I've got these pages called Property Valuation Plus. That's the landing page for home valuations, right? And you should have one for every one of your neighborhoods that you're building your business in. Now, I've got one here for Pleasant Hill, and it looks good. I put a picture of it with the new mall. You can see there's a theater there. You can get burgers and pizza on the street, all kinds of fast food kind of stuff. But everybody in Pleasant Hill knows this, right? So when you create a landing page, make sure that you edit it and you put, right over here, it says upload image, you put a relevant photograph of this area. Because what you're doing is you're gonna get this in front of people who don't know who you are. And you're gonna ask them for their address and contact information. And honestly, that's kind of a big ask, right? We don't know you. So how do you establish trust? Well, you put a local image in the background. And that at least tells them you know my area, and that's a start. What info on L to L should I include on my website? What info on L to L should I include on my website? How do I incorporate it on my website when I have WordPress? Janice, I just showed you that. You can actually click on advanced options on any landing page, and there's an embed code right there. You copy this code and you embed it. But Janice, you have a WordPress site, so how many people hit your website every month? That's the first thing you got to ask yourself. How many people land on your website? 45 people. Yeah, okay. So they're not all going to be they're not all going to be going for home values. So you just want to sort of recognize what you're trying to deliver, right? What kind of work you're going to have to go through. If for you, it's easy enough to copy that embed code and go create a page, awesome. If it's like a ton of work and you got to get an IT professional to help you, with 45 people hitting your site every month, I would not even recommend it. But what I would recommend is that you click the edit button and click advanced options. And long before I embedded this in my website, I would hit this print marketing button and I would download this letter. And just like the nearby homeowner letter that talks about a listing, this letter talks about a neighborhood, right? So it's basically saying, hey, home values are in. So you can edit this section right here and just add a few stats, 50 homes sold this month, 300 homes sold in this year in 2021, the median is here, the high is here, just a couple stats. And what happens is, and then it says that's affected your home value. Go here to get your free home value. This, if you mail this into a neighborhood, let's say 200 homes of people that own their homes for more than 5 years, like I was showing you with Chris, this is mail. This is a print letter, so you can door knock it or you can mail it. This is I would be recommending this far above embedding that landing page on your website, because it's just more effective. It just is. So that's one of the things that I would definitely recommend that you're going to do. Now I want to point out, somebody was asking here, you can update your autoresponder if you want to kind of craft your own message when somebody leaves a lead for home values. So we are on the landing page section. You should all have property valuation plus pages for every one of the neighborhoods you're building. You can go here and type property valuation plus and type in the name of the town and then add landing page. And once you do, it's going to bring you to a place where you can edit it. And when you edit it, you want to go to the advanced options. Oh, that picture has broke. That's what's going. Okay. So in advanced options, there's print marketing, and that's where these two letters sit. And these you want to get into your neighborhood, right? Some people just mail it by zip code, right? And just say, yeah, that's what I want to do, is I want to mail it to everybody that lives in this town. Other people will say, I want to mail it to everybody that lives in that town that owns their home for more than 5 years or 7 years, something like that. So that's all right there. Normally it has a photo here, but this is a whole page and that photo is broken, so that's why it's not showing up there. So that's a really smart way. If you want more listings, you don't even need to have listings in a neighborhood. You just create that landing page and that's going to be there for you. And the last place to really get listings is in the ad section. Now, I want to point out, you can create a listing ad. And let me ask you this, everybody. I know we've got a lot of people on the call, but I have a quick question. If you can put it, your answer in the GoToMeeting, it would really help so that I know if I need to slow down right here. Have you all run ads on this page with our Facebook ad generator? Just put a yes or no, and I'm going to read that just so I know. Yeah, okay, Mike has not, okay. So this is how we create a listing ad, and Vicki has not. So everybody who is in real estate should be running ads on Facebook. I just can tell you that with 100% certainty. And you should be running them right here on this page, because we have the software from Facebook and we've scraped it down. We check things automatically, because it's very easy to make mistakes inside the Facebook platform when you're trying to run an ad. And you don't know, like you kind of hear people talking about Facebook and, oh, they got 30 or they got 50 leads, and then you go run an ad and you get 1 lead, right? Or you get no leads, and you don't know why. And really, it's not actually your fault, because Facebook changes so fast that you cannot stay in front of it and stay on top of it. But I want to show you, I remember I mentioned, running a sold ad. You can do a sold ad right here. Choose your sold property, leave it on lead ads, which means you're going to get leads with phone numbers, and they're pre-populated from the profiles. And all you do is you type in the location and you publish, right? Now remember, this is sold, so I also said in the advanced options, you could add some of your own language, like, we got multiple offers, or we sold 10% above asking, whatever. That's really like going to get people motivated to go check it out, find out what's going on, right? Why just sold? Is it for seller leads? Yeah, Janice, this class today is on all the tools to get more listings. So that's why I'm talking about sold ads, because that's a great way to get more listings. Yeah. What is the difference between running ads for leads and running for conversion? Bettina, well, I can tell you this. I can't quite tell what in the world conversion is, right? But I'm just going to tell everybody right here, if you want leads with pre-populated name, email, and phone number that appear inside everybody's Facebook profile, you leave it on lead ads, just as I have it right here, no matter what you're doing. Because a lead with a phone number is a lot more valuable than a lead with an email. So I don't even know what conversions are, but they don't. The number one way of getting leads with phone numbers is leaving that button alone right there. Okay. No, I don't even know what conversions does. Sorry, Tina. So Chad has, should my listings be showing up in the ad section? Your listings, if your listings, all of your listings should be in this page right here, right? This is the listings page. And when you go to ads and you click create listing ad, all your listings should be here. Okay, Chad? So whether it's an open house or it's, active for sale or just listed or whatever, it's going to be right there. Okay. So since we're focused on getting listing leads right now, we're going to be marketing sold leads. Now, there's also, I want to just click on, create a landing page ad, because I have all my property valuation plus pages. Remember I showed you that Pleasant Hill one. I leave it on lead ads. Give me a second, lead ads, create ads. And let's just go look at this. Now I want to point out something. And this is, so, for years, real estate gurus and coaches, and even us, would tell you to run home value ads on Facebook. For years, we would train on this. But Facebook changed a few years ago when they started getting hacked by Russians for elections, and then realtors were running illegal ads on Facebook. So they really changed it. So it's very difficult for you to run an effective home value ad. It's basically impossible to run an effective home value ad on Facebook. Okay, but this is how you do it. You type in Pleasant Hill, and one of the first problems I'm going to explain to you right here is you got a 15-mile radius. You can't shrink that, right? You just cannot. So that's problem number one. I'm just going to leave that there. We won't go down the list of problems. Just click publish, right? But let me show you what the 15-mile radius boils out to in real life, right? Let me click on this map. This is a map of Pleasant Hill. And that 15-mile radius can go all the way out here to Crockett, to Berkeley, to Alamo. All these people are going to see this ad that I'm creating that talks about Pleasant Hill, right? So that's kind of not effective. Why would a Pleasant Hill home value ad be showing up in Berkeley? That's 15 miles away. But the problem's even worse, because if I'm just remotely curious and I click on it, I'm going to chew up $5 of your dollars, right, on average. So these ads are called pay-per-click advertising. You see we've got a $35 budget, and usually seller leads cost between $3 and $5. So that's kind of an issue there, right? Because every time even this curious person just clicks on it, boom, they just chewed up $5 of your $35. So I'm not into that, but I will tell you this. You'll notice that This one here is sponsored by Listings to Leads. Your ads are going to be sponsored by your business page. So I do recommend that you run an ad like this at least once a month, just to tell, you know, even if you ran a $35 ad in your area for 7 days, 3,000 to 4,000 people would see that ad, right? So somebody was telling me they got 45 people on their website every month. A $35 ad is going to show 3,000 to 4,000 people that you can give a home value. Far more than are going to land on your website. It would take you, I don't know how many years for 3,000 to 4,000 people to see that you can give them a home value. Where on Facebook, you can do it in 7 days for 35 bucks, right? So there is a benefit for your brand as a realtor to let people know that you can give them home value. So I do recommend it in that way, but the lead quality is pretty weak. Now, somebody asked a question, Claudia, these ads here are not translated into Spanish. We've been talking about that just last week because we've had some conversations about we're kind of talking with some other countries and stuff. So we do have one thing, and so let's go into the next part of the ad section to talk about what we have in Spanish. This thing here, it says create a PDF report ad. If you have not done this, you definitely need to be using this. Now, there's a couple things. There are seller reports, there are buyer reports, and then there are all reports. So who do you want to talk to? Do you want to talk to more sellers? Or do you want to talk to more buyers? So right now it's on sellers, and you'll notice that it's got this kind of, 12 mistakes to avoid. If I click this button here, I can download it. If I click this create ad, it takes us right over to creating an ad. Now, the nice thing about this, which is better than the home value thing, is while you have I'm gonna type in Pleasant Hill again, okay? And while I have a 15-mile radius of Pleasant Hill, it doesn't matter. It's not talking in the ad about Pleasant Hill. So if you see it in Berkeley, if you see it in Concord or Alamo or anywhere else, it doesn't matter. It's still of value to the market, right? And it's designed to get listing leads. The only people responding to this are, listing leads. So there was a really good question, Tamara. Thank you for asking it. Let me go back, and her question was, remember when I did the landing page and I said, I'm going to do Pleasant Hill and then create the ad, but that it's going to say Pleasant Hill. And then if I type in Pleasant Hill, I showed you on the map, it's going to overshoot, right? So Tamara's question was, should the landing page and should the ad speak about a broader area, right? A broader area. That way it's effective, right? That 15-mile radius is effective. And that would make sense. That's a really good question, but I want to explain to you the reality of that statement, okay? And I can explain it to you right here. This is called Contra Costa County, okay? And let me see if I can back up just a little bit here. So Contra Costa County is actually bigger than what I'm showing on the map here. But the price range, if I created, a lot of people want to create that page county-wide, right? County-wide. That would make sense. And if you run a wide radius ad, it sort of reaches and it's relevant. The problem is county, if you own a home, like I live in Lafayette over here, right? These homes are expensive. You can't get in for under $1 million in Lafayette. In Alamo, you can't get in for under 2 million. Same over here, Danville, 2.5 million a home. Over here in this neighborhood in Contra Costa County, 300,000, 400,000 over here. And that's the problem with a county-wide wide shot of a landing page. It's that if I want to talk to the person that knows my area, right? You are all at some level like a neighborhood expert, right? Are you a neighborhood expert in Alamo, because if I own a home in Alamo, I'm going to want to talk to you, right? If you're a neighborhood expert in Contra Costa County and I own a home in Alamo, I'm talking to the expert in Alamo. Does that make sense? That's why a wide landing page shooting for like Bucks County or Broward County, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, right? So let's see here. I see some more questions. Mike is asking, how's the response been with the PDF ads? Our clients are loving it. They're getting huge. They're getting, our clients are always excited when they get listing leads, and these PDF report ads definitely do that, right? They're getting listing leads. Now, I want to say a couple things about that. You notice how it's red here? We're going to improve this. So you got to kind of jump through a couple hoops. So if I click on library here and I go to media from L to L, the settings there is actually the color scheme. So I could change this to, let's just say Keller Williams, right? And save. And now that changes the look, although that's not a good example because it's relatively the same color. I'll change to Coldwell Banker, right? So I save it here. Now the look matches my branding, okay? So that's how you get the branding to look like your thing. Then when you go back to the ads, and earlier somebody had a question about Spanish. So if I go to create PDF report ads, it defaults to English, but you can also click Spanish and everything is translated, okay? So this is just a great way of getting both buyer leads or seller leads. You decide who you want to talk to. Let's see here, more questions. I'm on deep. I don't know. I don't know. This is Vince, not Scott. I don't know when the follow-up is coming. I mean, let me just tell you, Amandeep, you're curious about follow-up. Did you sign up over here on follow-ups? Did you join the beta group? Right? Are you part of that? Cool. And is your beta account activated? Because you should be looking, yeah, well, you might want to ping support and tell them, hey, I need to activate my follow-up, because it's actually working. And that's the point of joining the beta group, is that you're testing it. So everybody, one thing that we're really excited about, in case you don't know this, is we are developing our own follow-up plans. And we can see from really, I think, industry leaders what's working, and we know what's working from our own clients. So we're building follow-up plans, and if you want to not just capture leads but convert leads into business, I suggest you join this follow-up group and you ping the support team and ask them, how do I activate this and turn it on? There seems to be another step. I don't quite know what it is. And that's the long answer to, I don't know when it's going to be live, because we're pushing so much. We got just a really heavy tech schedule going on right now. So we kind of jumped around here. I want to make sure, if you want listing leads, that you are using the seller PDF reports, okay? Because our clients are getting listing leads from this. One funny thing I'll just tell you, I did hear, like somebody said, yeah, I didn't get any listing leads when I ran this one, the 25 actions that impact your home value. And I was like, that's kind of surprising. These are new. We've created these this year. But I kind of asked the question, and I'll just ask it to you. Who do you think wants to read 12 things, right? 5 dangers I can manage, 12 mistakes, 10 most expensive repairs, right? But 25 things I got to read. I don't know. Maybe that was the reason why it didn't work. But a lot of our clients are using this. A lot of people are talking. I keep hearing about the 12 mistakes to avoid. It seems to get a lot of people signing up for that. So I will tell you this kind of at a high level about Facebook advertising. One, you should be running ads on Facebook every week. 2, you should be running them right through this page where we're looking at right here, because you could waste a lot of time and money inside the Facebook market, the Facebook interface. It's brutal, it's difficult, and it's always changing. 3, you should be running one listing ad every week for at least 4 days. You can do it for 7 days. It could even be a borrowed listing. But when you run an ad for 35 bucks, 2,000 to 3,000 people are going to see that every week. That's awesome for your brand. It's sponsored by your brand. So they're going to recognize that you as a realtor are active, right? On the weekends, or even later in the week, you could run a new construction ad. You could run a property valuation ad like I showed you on Pleasant Hill. You could run a down payer assistance ad if you want. I'll just show you what a new construction one looks like. You kind of mix it up. You don't have to do the same thing every week, right? But also, you don't always have to run a landing page. You should kind of mix it up with the PDF report ads. So what I'm suggesting to you is you should all be running 2 ads a week, one about a listing, one about either PDF report or landing page every week. You should, and between 8 ads, you should be spending somewhere from $200 to $300 every month, okay? With that, you're gonna wind up with your brand, meaning it's sponsored by your Rockstar Realtor business page on Facebook. That's gonna be seen 15,000 to 20,000 times. Again, just referring back to the person on this call that has 45 people hitting their website every month, I'm telling you, 15,000 to 20,000 times your brand is going to be seen by spending $300 over 8 ads every month, right? And of course, all those ads capture leads. So you probably generate 100 to 200 leads every month for that. That is the kind of thing you want to be doing. And then go over here and turn on follow-ups and start converting those leads, right? Let's see here. I got a question. It's easy to get listing leads through PDF reports, but hard to follow up as they're a long-term lead. That's why, yes. Yeah, that's a great statement, Amadeep. That's why we're building it. So those guys are the ways of capturing leads. First of all, market your listings and market your listings with the nearby homeowner letter, with your Facebook ads, with your seller social media post, when it's just listed, when it's open house, and when it's sold. You will get more listings because of just how, as I showed you how the tools are written. They're all designed to get listing leads at the same time of marketing your home, right? Create landing pages for every one of the neighborhoods where you want more listings. And then get that letter that's over there in the advanced options that's going to talk about, what's going on in your market, right? And get that in the market. And then lastly, which we were just talking about, is get your Facebook ad consistent and run PDF report ads. What I've just described is a print and social media campaign that's going to dovetail, build your brand, and capture leads, okay? And all the tools I've shown you today are all designed to capture listing leads. So we started the call and I was talking about this guy, let me see here, about that question in the mastermind group, right? We started the call with who here generates 2 listings a month, strictly with listings to leads, right? And I told you that Dustin Fox, wait, that's not right, answered and said, yeah, we get 2 to 3 more listings every time, right? So that's how we started this call, right? Now, I'm just going to give you a little feedback, a little tidbit about Dustin. So I set up the offices around the country and the partnerships around the country, right? And when I do that, I train the offices just like I'm training you right now, but it's like, me and their office, right? So I don't talk to every agent, right? That's in an office. And that point, there were 300 agents. I think there are now 800 agents in about 5 years. And This guy was a green agent. He had only been an agent. Dustin was only an agent for 5 years. No, I'm sorry, for 2 years. And he was doing 5 million in production in those first 2 years. And then I rolled the system out to their office, and he dug in and he started to learn how to use it. And in the next 2 years, he started doing 20 million a year. He's now kind of a rock star in his office, right? Going from 5 to 20 million in 2 years. And I'll tell you this, because he got on a call with us last January and said 80% of his business comes from our tools, and he puts in 2 hours a week working in our system, including setting up his ads and all this and that. So a lot can be done with our platform. The tools that we talked about today are really going to help you grow your business and get you more listings. I just recommend that you apply what we discussed today. Get in the mastermind group if you are not in there. If you're not in there, go to your support page and ask them to get you in the mastermind group. And I recommend that everybody join that follow-up beta, because it's gonna, as it is now, we're starting to learn about what's right, and we need to change it. But it's going to be really more powerful, because we're going to be adding video and text messaging and kind of slide dial type technology, right? So we're just going to hit leads rapidly and effectively to get these people to convert, right? So that's it. That's the story I got for you today. Any other questions? How do I get info on sellers that, oh, Janice, that's a good question. Let me ask that question to everybody on the call. How do you get info on sellers that own for 5 years or more? Does anybody know the answer to that? I think a company called Remind does it. You can buy that list. I think a company called HomeSnap does it. There are a number of companies out there, Janice, that does that. Tom is asking about bots, and bots are kind of cool. They're kind of techie, but I'm going to just tell you this, I don't actually know a lot about the bots. What I do know is I'm not having our clients jump up and down and telling me they're getting great listing leads or buyer leads for bots, right? They're just not hearing that, right? A bot is, let me show you what a bot is. So let's go over to our business page. Give me a second here. So this is our public facing business page over here, right? And when you land here, you might see something pop up over here, right? We don't actually have one turned on, but pop up, say, hey, can I help you? Are you looking to buy a home or something like that? So bots can kind of work like that, but bots can also be tied to ads. So, and there is a way of doing that to when you're writing an ad, you'll have a bot as a response. And what a bot means, it's kind of like a pre-written dialogue. So if you responded to an ad, if I put an ad out and it says, hey, we sold this home, and then you respond, it's like, hey, thanks for checking that out. Would you like your home value? And then it asks a few questions. So that's how it works. Tom, I suggest you ping support. I know we have a support page on bots, and then you can do that. Yeah. Most MLSs give you access to run ports. Yeah, so Janice, Claudia is answering that. Most MLSs will give you that kind of access of finding out who's owned homes or not. And just so you know, and then I'm going to give this to you, if you get a list of homeowners with physical addresses and email addresses, you should be targeting them both ways. And this is a little bit of a deeper dive in Facebook advertising, but I didn't mention it today, but it's really powerful. Way more powerful. It's just very powerful, okay? And let me just show you something. I'm going to create an ad for a home that's sold, okay? And we're going to leave it on lead ads so we get the phone numbers. One thing I didn't mention is that there's a box here that says retarget. And as you see that in listings to leads, you should turn on retargeting. And what that does is that tells us, listings to leads, to create a custom file in your Facebook account. And it's probably going to be called listings, L to L leads or something like that. And the point of that is that it'll be sitting in this gray box and you can type on it or click on it or something like that. And it will populate. And then so if I say, hey, I want everybody within 15 miles of Pleasant Hill to see this ad, I also want everybody in this list of people to see the ad. That's a very, very powerful way to, again, it's cool to capture leads, but what's really cool is creating business from those leads. And so sending ads, retargeting means that this ad is going to be seen. So if we captured a lead one day from any of your tools, from any of your ads with us, we're going to send this next ad in front of them again. And obviously, or maybe it's not obvious, but you're not going to convert a lead the first time they see you in like 48 hours and 24 hours. That's going to be super lucky if that's going on, right? The reality is you have to drip on people, as Amandeep mentioned earlier. You got to really kind of work on these people long term. This is a great way of keeping your eyes, your brand in front of those people. So if you're buying a listing, if you're buying a list of homeowners and you get the email address, so this is a little bit outside of the scope of listings to leads. It's really Facebook. If you go to Facebook, and you can go look on YouTube and figure out how to do this, you can go to your ad manager and create, I think it's over here, and I just hate to even bring you here because it's just such a convoluted mess. I think this is created out, but this little button up here, you can create audiences. You see it says audiences. So let's say you bought a list of homeowners, right? In Pleasant Hill that own their homes for 5 years. And you can come here and say, I want to create a custom audience. And it's going to be from a customer list, right? It's going to be an Excel spreadsheet. And you upload that and you call it Pleasant Hill Homeowners, right? You can also do this, and you should absolutely do this. If you have a CRM with hundreds or thousands of leads in it, and you've noticed that they're really not turning into business, you should create this list right here, like I'm showing you right now, and call it, I don't know, my CRM leads. Call it your old Zillow leads, whatever it is, so you know what it is. So that way, when you come back to listings to leads and you want to retarget, you can target those same old lists, not just ours, all of the custom audience lists in your account. We want to help you convert the leads. We have been doing this for 11 years. We know we can capture leads, but it's really going to be more important if you can convert it. And using retargeting is a great way to do that. For retargeting, do I need to import any file? Ajita, if let's just say you're a brand new agent and you're new to us, if you just turn on retargeting, we're going to create a file, and any leads that we capture in the future, we're going to put in there. If you've been a client of with us for years and you have 1,000 leads sitting in your leads tab over here, we're going to put those 1,000 leads in that custom audience and add any new ones to that custom audience. But those will be L to L files, and then you can just say, I'm going to retarget those people. But again, just to repeat myself, if you've got hundreds or thousands of leads sitting anywhere, you should put them inside. You should create your own custom audience in your Facebook ad manager, and you should be retargeting them, convert those leads, okay? So that is my story, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome, Gita. Any other questions for anybody? Well, it's been an hour. I really appreciate you hanging out with me today. I hope I sort of helped you understand what you can do here. New construction. Well, for new construction, we have landing pages, and we always have one created here this is the default new construction page, right? Now you can customize this. I added a timer in here, it's already out of date. But also, like, I've got one here that it's a custom buyer landing page for a new development from Toll Brothers. So you can customize these pages however you want to customize them, right? And once you've done it, you can then run an ad on it, right? Because they just sit here in outer space. You want thousands of people to see this, right? So let's say, you know, the promontory at Paloma is a big deal, and you know, people are going to be interested in that. Now that I've created that landing page, I can go over here to create ads, create a landing page ad, and down here are my custom landing pages, and there's that Paloma new construction one. And so you go create, you can either use our default one, or you can create your own like I did, and then you put this there, right? You just run the ad that way, thousands of people see it, right? That's what I would be doing, Tom, if you've got new construction. And you might have relationships with, you know, multiple developments, and you can have a landing page for each one of those, or you can just use our default one and say, hey, if you just want to find out about new construction, I'll help you, right? So that's kind of it there. So guys, that's really all I got. I don't see any more questions. This call has been recorded, and we'll have it in the mastermind group later today. And as I mentioned, just ping the support team to get in there. Claudia, glad I helped you. Glad it helped you. So keep in touch and get in the mastermind group. And also, I just want to invite you in one, as I mentioned, you should be running ads, right? But whatever you're doing, whether it's running ads or just doing a mailing, share with us what's working for you, right? One of our clients came in just 2 days ago and said, hey, I ran an ad on $1 million home in Florida, and I got, what, $20 million worth of leads. So 20 leads for 19 bucks. It's about $1 a lead for people buying $1 million property, right? In Jupiter, Florida. So it's always helpful for everybody to understand what is working and what's not working. And I'll show you, since we are talking about listing leads. I mentioned Dustin Fox earlier, but if you want listing leads, you might want to look at this post from Dustin Fox, where he says, hey, I took that letter that I've been telling you about today, and I mailed it to 250 homes with a little one-page calendar and a little one page that I made of my Zillow reviews to 250 homes around a home that I had sold. And in Maryland, Eastern Maryland, he got 10 listings with an average commission of $17,000, right? So you can learn a lot in the mastermind group. And if you're interested in getting listings, check out Chris Winstead, check out Dustin Fox, and also check out Alicia Pless, P-L-E-S-S. Because she has learned from a call just like this that bright colored envelopes get open more than normal white envelopes, right? We don't want people to think it's junk mail. We want them to open it. Yeah. So anyway, everybody, take care, keep safe out there, get more involved with the platform. It will help you grow your business. And, you know, if you need it, this call is going to be in the mastermind group later today. Bye-bye, everybody.